the artist of, or pencilist of our webcomic.
I'm Simran. I'm a writer / manager of Realm Members, so I take care of like the organization that you guys were asking with having so many people work on one webcomic.
She's our mom.
Yes, comic mom.
Gotcha. I'm Helena. I am a writer and in charge of point fives.
Point fives are our mini chapters that
It's
we
like rest,
post.
like reliefs, like something stress just happened. It's like, oh, it's funny.
That's something
yeah,
that our
it's just like
second artist takes care of, the one who's sick right now.
Yeah.
So while
Her name is Mary. She's also our digital artist who transfers my drawings to the computer so we can upload them.
yeah. So while Emmy works on a lot of the like main chapters, we'll just have a little hiatus between actual chapters, and we have these little point fives, which are just silly and getting to know the characters besides the actual main plot.
Alright, so this is what our webcomic is about. We follow the adventures of a young artist named Jack who uses his sketchbook to rip into any realm he can imagine, as long as he can draw it well enough. Jack and his friends explore these various realms ranging from fairy tales to video games, uncovering the secrets they hold. And what had started out as a whimsical journey, Jack will find out that he has bitten off more than he can chew.
So on the actual cards that we gave you, you can actually see our 4 main characters. Jack is the one who's freaking out at the stuff
Jack's
jumping
the little
out of the
blonde white
sketchbook.
boy.
Yes.
Yes, we call him our classic white boy.
Yeah. He's tall, he's white, he's
He's
lanky,
tall, albino,
Basically,
Weird
all I
little
know, yeah.
and then there's Aditi.
The one with the what the fuck rainbow.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
WTF rainbow over her head.
Yes.
And then we have Zara, who's on fire. That's who was standing in here before, dressed as a dragon. She's dressed as her.
And then Eugene, who's our Korean boy.
Yeah. Yes.
The main plot of the webcomic is that Jack has a sketchbook, and when he draws in it, he slips into the different realms. I personally read like a lot of webcomics on each of these platforms. I follow way too many.
Yes.
We don't use Webtoon that much.
But it's an amazing app that I read a lot of webcomics on. It's very easy to read them on. I'm not actually sure about how posting goes, but I'm sure it's not that difficult. The great thing about Tapastic, when you use that, is that you can schedule posts ahead of time. So if you have like a lot of pages, you're not gonna just spam your followers with like 5 or 10 pages at the same time. You'll keep with your regular schedule and you'll just time it for whenever you want it to be posted. And you can do the same with Tumblr.
And with Snap Juice.
I'm
Sorry?
not used to extra use. I've read some comics on there though.
Yes.
Try to make a schedule that
Try
works
your
for
best.
you. So if you can schedule there, that's good, because a really important thing about webcomics is that you should probably keep a consistent schedule, because people like to look forward to the like reading a new page, because I always know on Wednesdays I'm like, oh my god, Super Secret is going to be posting right today. I need to read it. Next, we have social media, and this is all to connect with the audience that is reading your webcomic. So like I was saying before, that we started in March, even though our actual pages of the actual plot started in December. So before we were actually posting the main plot of the comic, we were just trying to connect with people, so then they know who our characters are, what they're like, what we're like a little bit. So using Instagram, using Amino, and using Twitter, you can easily do that. Amino is kind of confusing, but basically it's an app where you can join like any community for a lot of things. One of the ones that we're on specifically for webcomics is called Webcomic Maker Amino.
Yes.
There's also Comics Amino, but they're more interested in DC and Marvel comics rather than like indie comics. So I would suggest Webcomics Amino. And then people do know Instagram and Twitter. You can let people know like live what you're up to, what you're doing. And you can post things like this. These are some of the things that we actually posted.
These are examples of our point fives. Like these are from 2.5s that we have released before our actual comic was posted, because we had to postpone it because of things. So our digital artist Mary drew these, and then she also drew these, which are
Character design.
designs
like
and
their names,
little,
their
like a
facts.
little biography of them. Yeah.
I like how you have Markiplier as a character.
Honestly,
That's actually what he was based off of.
he's actually
He's like a foot taller than Markiplier, but close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
So this is his head's cut off, but this is Jack.
he's our main character. His name is Jack Halverson.
Then there is our second main character, Aditi, who is Jack's best friend. Zara, who is
She's-
mom character, like
Yeah.
a tough love mom character.
Party.
And then Eugene,
Who's
who
basically
is-
there to ask all the questions that the audience is asking us already.
Yep. I personally love about our comic is how diverse it is.
Yes.
Jack is a gay man. Eugene is a bisexual Korean man. Aditi is
Who knows what, but she's really interested in languages. She speaks her own native tongues, which is Hindi and Punjabi. Zara is a Muslim character because we want our characters to reflect things that we know in our own personal lives. So we want them to be just like people that we know, like in real life.
Right. So, for example, Aditi is based off of Sim's sister Amira, who is this big, bubbly, loud,
recited.
Jack was based off of our friend Eric, but he reflects a lot of my qualities as well because behind this wig, I am a tall, blonde, stressed out. And also, he's an artist, I'm an artist too, and we both struggle with our AP art homework.
So like I was saying, that with social media, you can let people know about what your characters are like. So we like to do these little bios, they have a little description of them, they have birthdays and zodiacs and all these things that make them feel a little more
Sexuality.
human. And there's the
Personality.
sister I was talking about before.
She's the loud one. Hey, Amira!
What's up?
Alright, be careful.
She's dressed as this character right over here. Her name is Zara Rashid. And as I said before, our characters explore different realms. So she's not the regular Zara who plays soccer and is the mom friend of all. She's the dragon character that Jack will meet
Later
in later chapters that haven't been posted yet in the fairy tale realm. So, besides social media, another important thing is who's working on it. You can work on a webcomic alone. That's what I've seen most times, that it's the same person who's writing it and the same person who is drawing it. But in our case, you can see that there are a few people working on it. We're missing one of the members of our team on Realm Rippers, but right here we have Helena, our writer, me, Simran, I'm also the writer and manager,
And I'm the pencilist or artist, whatever you want to say. Emmy. Mary isn't here because she couldn't come today, but she, basically what our roles are. Let's explain our roles.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
Okay, so we can start with, because we begin the process of the webcomic, we'll start with us, which is writing. Of course, you need a story when you're starting out with a webcomic. How it started out for us is that we were just texting and we were talking about Miraculous
3
Ladybug.
a.m. It was amazing. 3
Yeah.
a.m.
And then we just somehow fell into a story of our own, and we thought that it was really cool and that we wanted to flesh it out. So we started talking, we had a binder, and we would throw it at each other in the hallways.
And just screeches like, here!
I would have an idea.
Running.
Jot it down, you would edit, throw it back at me.
And then another edit, and then I'll throw back, another edit, and we just played basically hot potato until we got like, this is perfect. Let's keep it.
But something that's way easier than playing hot potato with a binder is using Google Docs. That's what we're using currently.
So I can, also because I'm the writer, I have to I'm the artist, not writer. I have to break down the story into panels, and sometimes they'll write too much or too little, and I will have to add my own things. So Google Docs is really good for that because we can all work on the same document, and also we can write down schedules. Like we wrote, I had to write this presentation for us, and then Sim put it together.
So on Google Docs, you can all be like at your home, wherever the heck you are, and just type all at the same time, work on it together at your own like pace.
And you can use your phone to
Phone, laptop, anything. It's really easy for us. There's a lot of other applications, but I find this is the easiest when you're working with multiple people. But basically, you have to have a script before you actually start drawing it. So you kind of know where you're gonna start, where you're gonna end, what's going on in the middle. Just a basic outline. And edit, edit, edit.
And if you finish the comic, that means you can go back and add those little hints that leads to the end that people
adding
like,
hints.
oh, I remember that happened at this point.
Foreshadowing.
It was so small. So yeah, so like finishing the comic, or at least trying or close to finishing, will really help, and to add more details.
Yeah, when you have an outline, then you can foreshadow things that are going to happen in the future, which people always find really cool. I know I always love it when I can go back in the comic and be like, oh my god, they showed us, they told us it was coming, we should have known.
Also, with having multiple people work on a comic, you can add things with each other. It doesn't have to be all clashing. You can work together to find like the best middle ground and making the comic more interesting.
Like, I tend to be very descriptive. My writing style tends to be a little superfluous, and that's a little too much for the style that Emmy likes to draw in, which is just 4 panels each page. So she can go in and edit it herself and say, Sim, this is way too much.
Yep.
I love detail, not too much. I like it break it down.
So now we get to what is the job of Emmy and our missing artist, Mary.
All right, so what I do, I have a sketchbook where I draw each panel in my own sketchbook, and then I hand the pencilless, or that's what it's called pencilless. I draw the panel on paper, and then I give it to Mary, and then she traces it over it with a tablet, she scans it, and then we email it or send it to Sim and Helena so they can upload it to Tapastic or Tumblr. And another thing that Mary will do is add dialogue.
So she adds the dialogue. We like to have the dialogue in different colors so we know which person
Characters.
is talking, which character is talking, so we have different colors associated with each of the main characters. Although it's easy enough to follow even if you don't remember which color is who. Another app that you guys have recently been using
I have recently been using IBIS Paint X. You can take a picture and trace over it, and you can do it on the go. A thing I was having problem with drawing in a sketchbook is that if I forgot my sketchbook, I can't work that day. So with IBS, you can take your phone and draw, like while you're in school or on a bus,
in the car, anywhere you are, you can just pull out your phone or whatever you're using and just draw it. Also, one cool thing about that is that you can then show your followers a little speed drawing.
And this is just a profile of our character, Jack. It's going really quick, but this took me like an hour.
Yeah, this is a little drawing of our main character, Jack. You can see closer details of him, his freckles, his purple eyes, his hearing aid, all of that.
Oh yeah,
His hard of hearing.
Yeah,
hard of hearing.
Disabled, yay.
And follow my
Diversity.
screen.
Okay. So then after you're done drawing everything, after you're sure that it looks great, then you can post it. So again, you post to those platforms that we showed at the beginning, which would be, you can use Tapastic, you can use Tumblr, you can use Webtoons, you can use SnackJeeves like somebody mentioned.
This is just like a title page
Yeah.
and our comic's in black and white most of the time, but we have our
Title page.
and this was drawn, and then the background I like to Photoshop like different things.
One thing about when you do post is if you are using Tumblr, one thing a lot of people don't know is that the first 5 tags that you use are kind of the most important because they're what your post is most likely gonna show up as for most people. So a lot of people don't know what Realm Rippers is, so that's not going to be the first tag that we use. The first tag we're going to use probably would be comics because people may look that up. Webcomics because that's another thing that that it falls under. We may use space for this because people like space and they may just be scrolling through and they'll find us. So the first 5 tags we try to have different things that people will commonly search, and then afterwards for our own organization purposes on our blog, we'll have Realm Rippers, Space Jack, stuff like that. Alright, I know we went really fast, so if anybody has any questions, please do ask.
How do you market it?
How do we market the webcomic?
Throw cards at people.
Yeah.
That's the card, I guess.
If you go, I feel really bad. There's like cards all over the place.
If you walk around, you'll definitely see that we've left little Easter eggs of business cards.
Yes.
We printed these out using Vista print. It was really easy. We got like 500 cards for like $9.
It was too many.
Don't get the 500. We still have
There's
a
so many.
box.
We have so many.
If you are going to do this, we have all of our social media handles on the front of it, and then what I would suggest is putting on the back a summary of what your webcomic is. So if you're talking to somebody really fast, you can just hand it to them and they'll find out what the webcomic is themselves. With this, we have to talk to everyone and we have to tell everybody, as much as we love talking with people, we have to tell everybody personally what the webcomic is, what is it that we're handing them. But that's one thing for when you're talking in person. Other than that, you may have missed because we started a bit early, is the social media. So you can use Instagram, you can use Amino, you can use Twitter, any social media that you know. Just post anything. We posted pictures of Mary and Emmy just in the cafeteria drawing. We post when we're at a convention like this. We posted little bios of our characters, little things like this, which is like draw your squad. We drew ourselves, we drew our characters, anything that you want. So you connect with people who are on those platforms. They'll find you using hashtags. Otherwise, I would suggest reading other webcomics and trying to interact with people in the comments. Just start up a conversation and maybe then if it comes up, tell people like, hey, I'm working on this thing, I think you would be really interested in it.
And also hiring an actor to play one of your characters.
Yeah,
Getting
hire
paid.
you.
Alright. I just want to bring up some examples of how I just farm. It's like my thing. I just leave cards everywhere.
Oh, the
so
girls'
me and
bathroom.
Tim actually on a school trip we went to Italy and we had a layover in Germany. So I took a bunch of the cards because I don't know why I had them. They were just in my wallet and I just put them all over the airport.
You didn't tell me this.
I forgot and I was with her. So yeah, Emmy, anywhere she goes, likes to leave little Easter eggs
New York
of our
City.
cards everywhere we
In
go.
the woman's bathroom.
They're in the women's bathroom, they're in the gender inclusive bathroom, they're in the city, in Nintendo World. They're all over our school.
The schedule that we use is 2 pages each week.
It's
varies.
hard.
It varies.
It varies. I am an AP art student, so is Helena. So we have a lot of work before this. Also remember, your webcomic comes second to schoolwork and family. So that's why it can be inconsistent.
I read many webcomics. Some of them have just 2 pages a month. They have every other week 1 page. And I still follow it because it's a great webcomic. So don't worry that your schedule isn't
Constant.
like constantly in people's faces. People will read it. It's fine. Don't stress.
Or you could be like Homestuck that updates once a year.
That's a
Well,
choice.
the thing is, it's horrible.
It's awful,
And
but
like,
listen.
if it wasn't like the best like
It's
story
a great
that I've ever read,
story. It's a great story, but
if
everyone in the fandom's awful. That's why
Oh,
I
yeah.
got out of it.
yeah, absolutely.
The fandom is bad.
The
Fandom's
bad.
horrible. Don't.
It's horrifying.
Also, encourage people not to be like that. Please take care of your
So-
children.
Did
Any other
that answer the question a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah.
any
You
other
had a question?
So how do you go about choosing which platform to host your webcomic on?
Depends. Where you read comics most often, that's usually where you would post it. If you're wherever you're comfortable, basically.
You can post it anywhere. Like if you had like this random page that you can post stuff, just like, hey, I can post stuff here.
And we post on Instagram occasionally because I know a lot of people who use Instagram, and I personally use Instagram a lot.
Yeah. If
So-
you actually do read webcomics on these different platforms, you can kind of see the different communities that are there. With Tumblr, like, we post to these 2 because these are the 2 that I read the most on, although I do read some on Webtoons. But our comic mostly fits with the different various comics that are on Tumblr and Tapastic already. Although I love Webtoons, I don't think that our style, the way that we frame it, the 4 panels, like setting that we have, fits with most of the webcomics I read there, so we don't post there. So it really depends on what your webcomic is, so I would suggest reading a lot of them to see what the community is like to choose. Or you can do what we do, which is post to way too many.
Post everywhere.
Yeah.
You guys create like a buffer, like a draft period, so when you guys are like in a hiatus, you still have like stock
Yes.
comics in
Yes.
a way, just in case if anything happens.
Yeah, if anything happened, an example of what happened is we were supposed to start posting in September of 2016, but I was behind, and so our digital artist Mary made 0.5 chapters. Can you go to? She made 0.5 chapters, which are just like short stories, like getting to know the characters. We did a Disney something.
Yeah.
A Disney trip.
She
That was
drew
like
all of
basically-
these. She did a draw our squad. That's Mary at the top, Helena, Sim, and me in the back with a box of memes.
Because we
So
have to be memes.
So if you're working on it yourself and you have to take a little hiatus, then you would probably just have to alert your audience that you're going to take a hiatus, unless you are organized enough yourself to have some prepared beforehand, just in case you need to take a break for a little bit. Otherwise, you can maybe, if you draw something that's a little less demanding than your usual style for the usual updates. Like one that I follow on Webtoons is called Siren's Lament. And sometimes she posts little like chibi versions of her characters answering questions or just doing some silly stuff related to their own personalities. But it's not the full beautiful artwork that she usually does. Answer your question? Okay. Any other questions?
You can ask questions about the actual comic itself.
About our comic, how to start your own, anything like that.
About life. You can answer that one, sorry.
How do you get people interested in reading it?
Doing this.
But
Doing this.
like
This is it.
Yeah.
Throw cards at people.
Yeah. Yeah. Just walk around. If you have cards, always have cards in your pocket. Like I have
Yeah.
this always with me. She has like
You can
10
see my phone
cards.
case, this little wallet phone case. I always have little cards in here, so I can.
I don't.
She made me carry cards in my wallet.
She's not
you're
even
the one who leaves them everywhere, though.
Yeah, because she always uses them. That's why.
Yeah,
she
I
doesn't have
take.
any.
She's with me and she steals them from me and then
I'm like,
sprinkles them everywhere.
Sim, give me a bunch of
We got like
cards.
250
Why?
left.
I'm gonna
right?
sprinkle them everywhere. Also, another thing, how we get people interested is I'm very active on Instagram, so I just post about it all the time on Instagram.
So
And sometimes people get interested if they're a big fan of your content. Maybe they'll read it.
Mainly, you have to just bring it up in conversation whenever it is like, whenever it's relevant. You don't want to just shove it in people's faces because then they're going to be annoyed with you and not read it.
We do
at
that
all.
sometimes, but it doesn't work that well.
Yes.
But if it comes up in conversation, try to bring it up, try to talk to people about it, and again, be active in the different communities like Tumblr and Tapastic and Webtoons. So you can talk to other people who are doing the same thing as you, and you can read each other's because everyone has a lot of really fun webcomics to read.
Yeah.
Also, have you guys, I asked a lot of questions.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
Have you guys been like connected to other content creators and never considered of doing like a crossover event for like, I don't know, for a holiday, like, I don't know, a Christmas special between this and this, and then merging them together into this giant
I've never thought
thing?
of that.
As far as I know, nobody has ever contacted us personally to do that.
no.
But I have read other webcomics where they did do that, and I always love that. So
Oh, yeah,
that's always a good idea.
Yeah, I saw this very cute one. It was just like, we're at fair. Oh, I haven't seen you in a year. Bye. And then
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we were small Easter eggs of
Yeah.
artists you admire, and
Yeah.
like in the foreground, background.
The heck?
It just here's one else.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's in
no,
normal
definitely,
color
that's
now.
all.
Hey.
Oh, well, there it goes.
That's definitely always a good idea. If you can talk, if you like befriend somebody else who has a webcomic as well, doing little Easter eggs and collaborating with them would always be good. So you guys can encourage your own audience to go and read a friend's.
Yeah.
Sort of along that lines, how do you deal with a situation where you have maybe like a friend who maybe wants to self-insert their character into your story?
Say no.
Yes,
Make
say
them
no.
You have to be direct. If you don't
Make
want,
them pay.
No, if your story's already written, it's over. It's done.
But let me tell you, if you're like halfway through and you still don't have the villain, make her the villain.
Yeah.
That'll
If you're
show
Or
her.
just kill her off in a panel.
There you go,
For
exactly.
$10,000.
Hey, I'm here.
Yes.
Boom.
it's like
Yeah.
there you are, one panel you're
Because
there.
I've seen
other
that
panel.
where that becomes a problem where that character is brought in and then it ends up bringing the story in a different place that they didn't
Yeah.
intend
Yeah.
for the story to go.
Yeah.
Don't-
You have to
If
be
you're
there.
going to do stuff like that, because I've seen people do that because they have a Patreon up and they want the people who support their Patreon to be in the webcomic. A lot of times,
You could just do a background character.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. A lot of
background
times I see them put it as a background character, so it's like, yeah, there's an Easter egg, you're there, but it doesn't affect the main actual plot of the story.
We speaking of Patreon, we have a Patreon. Donate. We're poor children.
Everyone here is making webcomics. No one's got money.
True that.
We're all poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes.
All right. Anyone else?
Are you guys gonna take your comic to a publisher eventually, or?
I would
would
love to.
Hey.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on
Again,
the publisher you go to, and depending on how many like issues you want to
Yeah.
print.
again, we're poor.
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
No, Kickstarter's for if you already have like a big enough
Well,
following.
I'm saying if
but,
you
like,
have a following,
if-
people don't.
We have our biggest following is on Tumblr, where we have around 700 followers.
But that's
Um,
mostly numerically. The biggest, most active following is Amino.
Yes.
Even though that's not a very well-known app, because it's not a very well-known app, a lot of people comment and talk to you, and they feel a little more like you're less
Closer.
distant.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm just talking to this another person that could be my friend.
Yeah. So that's why I really like Amino, because there's always a lot of nice comments, and the community leader likes to talk with everyone, and they have a little catalog each month of webcomics that are going on, that are being posted to help advertise the people who are in that community. They have like communities just for webcomics. They have communities like for Steven Universe or for Star Crystal the Forces of Evil, all of that stuff.
It's if you have a comic and if you have an idea and it's either there or you can make it. So yeah, you know, really fun. Any other questions?
Yes.
What makes you decide to post on, say, like any of those sites versus like having your own site?
Money.
Having your own site, you have to
You
make.
would have to pay to have your own site, and then also I feel it's a little harder to market a webcomic when you have your own site, because then you would have to have people go to your site directly. When you use things like Tapastic, Anime, Tumblr, Webtoon, stuff like that,
It could
when-
show up in someone's feed.
yeah,
Like
when
randomly. if you
when I
can
finish
block
reading
page.
the update of one of the webcomics that I do follow, then at the bottom they have like suggested other comics to read. So it's a lot easier for you to market. So then people just stumble upon yours and then maybe become a fan.
So how does things like Tapastic and Webtoons work exactly? Like you just sign up for it?
Yes.
and-
Yep, it's
Okay.
completely free.
Okay, and
Smack Juice is the same.
Yeah, so it's free. You get to post. The only thing that is that those websites usually have featured comics, which are the ones that they actually pay to post their comics. So if the website does pick you up, they think that your webcomic is really popular, it looks really good, then they'll pick you up and you'll be on their featured page.
all right.
But it's easy enough for somebody who isn't featured to gain a big following. Like one that I follow on Webtoons was called Asleep Beside You.
Asleep beside you.
Yes, yeah. Asleep Beside You. So that has a bigger following than some of the comics that are actually featured and are actually being paid by the website to post. Yet they're not a featured page. So it doesn't matter whether you are featured or not. But they're all free to post to.
All right. Thanks.
Another thing about Tapastic is that they have this feature which is tipping. Again, you have to be picked up by the website to do that. But people can earn coins by just watching ads and stuff, so they don't actually have to have money on them. And they can give you those tips, and that's actual money for you.
All right.
So that's another great thing about Tapastic. Yeah. Yes.
While working on your webcomic, what is like a challenge that you guys came across that was like unexpected, like you didn't expect to like be challenged with?
Actually, before me, there was.
There were a few
Whoa!
Oh,
There's a
five.
few?
You're
I
like
thought
the
there's only
fifth
one.
artist. You're like the fifth artist that we
Oh
got.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
we
because
would
we
have
don't love
artists
you.
that would drop. They would do a little something and then just drop. And
They're like, oh yeah, I can do that, and
Yeah.
they never show up.
So myself, I only am able to write. I can draw a stick figure, and that's about it. I'm awful at drawing. She is an artist, but her style isn't
Comic worthy.
comics.
I am more like
Animals.
realistic. Yeah, realistic.
and
So
animals.
her style is more realistic, so she can't draw webcomics either. So the biggest problem for us was that we have this whole thing outlined. We have this whole story that we want
Yeah,
people to see,
characters.
but we couldn't draw it. So we had to talk with friends of ours because we, again, don't have any money to pay anybody to help us.
Yeah.
So we had to ask friends, and people would say yes and then drop out of it, and then we would have to find another and another.
Oh,
And
the dark day.
originally I was
Eventually.
the background artist.
yeah, originally she was just going to draw backgrounds, and then she offered to actually work as the main artist for it.
Yes. A dark
Because
day.
you were like, they were going to shut down the entire comic because our original artist
dropped because of family problems, and we
Was
were just-
it?
Yeah.
I thought you just stopped talking to us.
That happened after, but like, so we were just like, me and Sim were just talking, just like, oh no, it's gonna happen, our comic's gonna drop, I don't know what, and like,
Yeah.
And then I
we're
just would have been like,
sad.
hey.
Yeah, then this happened, we're just like, yes, we'll do anything. So like, we literally like reconstructed our whole comic around this person.
Another issue that usually comes up is scheduling because we're working with so many people. So a big thing is communication. Make sure that you're not just putting too much of a workload. Make sure that it's good with them. Change the schedule if needed because not everything is about you.
Not everything.
Unless you're working on it yourself, then you can work with whatever
Also-
schedule works for you.
Communication can be very difficult. I know I don't text a lot of people.
No, you
I
do not.
usually don't text back because I'm an awful person. So they could be like, something's on fire in the comic. And I'll be like, I'm doing this. I'm sorry, I can't get to my phone. So we have our lunch period together so we can talk then. So, and then I have my art class with Helena, so I get to talk with them on their own. And then Mary is also one of my best friends. And we dragged her into this.
Yes.
Because
Kidnapped her into it.
originally what we were gonna do, I don't have any platform before IBIS. I didn't have a way to transport the drawing digitally. So, and Mary did. And we knew Mary's art before, we knew she was a great artist. She wanted to start a webcomic, and she was talking to us about it one day, and we kind of just like, hey, do you want to be part of our comic?
Yeah, then just Sim came one day, he's like, oh yeah, we got a new artist. I was like, oh,
We got
okay.
another one.
That's why
We got one.
Did you draw that or she drew that?
She drew that.
Yeah, that's why she
Yeah.
drew herself right up here, strapped to the car of this mess.
And they're driving the car like, yeah, and I just deal with everything.
Representative of our teamwork.
That is literally how we work.
Yeah, except I would be like 10 feet behind. I'd be behind the car just like trying to hold on.
On a wagon.
On a
taped
wagon,
to-
yeah.
Duct taped.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. And any other questions?
Any other questions?
Alright, be careful of the camera. You can ask questions about our comic, like what it's about, chapters, the questions for us.
I actually need a business card.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, if anyone wants a business card, just ask.
Yeah, I got. If any of you guys missed my general summary of the webcomic, of our webcomic itself. Amir.
What? Oh no, I was trying to like just.
Watch the camera. Your cousin's in the camera.
Oh my god, he's.
Yeah. Sit down.
Oh yeah, you need it.
Anyways, yeah.
I'm away here.
We found one! He found it on the way here!
Oh, really? Really?
Yes.
Nice.
You found one of her Easter eggs.
I
I
thought
didn't find one. I got one from
Hey!
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
even better.
Oh, nice.
It's all crumpled. So yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. It's fine, well.
Yeah, so if any of you guys missed our general summary of what we actually work on, it's called Realm Rippers. Our main character, Jack, if you have a business card, you can see he's the blonde one who's screaming and jumping out of his seat. He is scared out of his mind.
He's a poor little guy, little gay
Poor
boy,
little white
little
boy.
tall gay boy.
Because he has a sketchbook, and anything he draws can come to life. So, as long as he draws it well enough. So what happens in the picture that we have on the webcomics card is that he tried to draw a dandelion, it didn't work out in his favor, he drew fireworks instead. And it's blowing up everywhere.
Here's a big writing tip. Write that stuff that happens similar in your life. Like, we got the firework idea because she does sometimes nail art. And she was drawing dandelions. She was like, oh, is that fireworks? So we kind of took that and made it into a card.
Yeah.
So takes things from real life and just put a medical or whatever type of comic it is twist to it.
Yeah.
Any more questions about us, what we do?
Personally, what kind of since you say you like reading comics, is your favorite genre of like what would be like
Yeah, me?
how you choose this certain genre for your comic?
The genre that we put our own comic in is mainly fantasy and adventure because he travels to so many different places. And adventure because, again, like there's a lot of mayhem that happens in each realm that he goes to when he meets doppelgangers of himself or his friends. It can get quite confusing and dangerous. So we categorize ourselves as fantasy and adventure. Personally, the ones that I like to read are comedy, romance, stuff like that, because I like cutesy things.
Yeah, I really like Homestuck. I don't like, but the story behind Homestuck I really enjoy. Also, I like Ava's Demon.
That was for you.
I like
Yeah.
Story question.
Yeah.
How did Jack acquire this magical notebook?
That's actually in the
It's
first
kind of a
chapter.
spoiler
Okay.
of what exactly happened, but what you'll see in the first page, all that the audience knows right now, is that it landed on his porch by accident.
Got it.
Yes.
And
There are others like him.
Others like Jack? No.
In the original
He's the
plot
only
there was.
Mary
but-
Sue, no, I'm kidding.
In the original plot there was, but we took that out.
He has doppelgangers
Arrival.
like the rest of them in the different realms. So there's different versions of him in each realm that he travels to. There's a space Jack, there's a fairy tale version of Jack, and that can be troublesome.
page with the panels.
Page with
I just want to give an example. We have like secondary characters, background characters. So this is okay. Let's try that one.
this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's Genesis.
this is our background character Genesis. What he does, he kind of just like in class, he just kind of looks over at Genesis and is like, all right, screw it. I'm just gonna draw her as an alien. And this is our alien design with big black eyes and
Like these little
green
buttons.
hair and blue skin with like kind of like triangle teardrop marks.
It's actually purple.
Purple, whatever. I don't know the color. But yeah, that's an example of doppelgangers that he will encounter in different realms.
And she's an example of a doppelganger. You'll see the one on the card whose head is currently on fire. That's her normal version. But in the fairy tale realm, she's a dragon. So the dragon can shapeshift into either human or dragon form, but when she is a human, she still retains her scales.
As you can see, your close enough face and arm.
Hello, everybody. Although her regular realm version is actually Muslim and wears a hijab, her fairy tale realm just wears it because her skin isn't used to the sun, so she wants to keep some scales on her to protect herself.
Assalamu alaikum.
Did you?
I'm sorry.
Does Jack like ever run out of paper since he's constantly drawing, or does the ink just dissipate after he jumps in or out of the realms?
He never really quite gets to the end of the book. He doesn't get to reach the end of the book.
The comic is too short for that.
No, well, something happens.
Yes.
So
Something happens.
you'll find out, but all you get to know for now is that he doesn't get to reach the end of the book.
Yes.
He's just a scared little guy.
Yeah. We took a baby and put him in a house. Any other questions?
Somebody had their hand up before.
Yeah.
So are you planning this to be like an ongoing thing, or do you have like a set plan for how it's going to end?
We
have a
finished
set plan of how it's gonna end, but we don't know when.
A date,
Oh,
no,
we
but an actual plot we have from
Written.
beginning to end, the whole thing.
Okay.
How long did the writing process take, Sam?
Over a year. Under a year. Under a
A little
year.
under a year.
Yes.
Even though you don't have a date, you have like a number of years ideas?
We would like to get it done before me and Sim graduate high school. We are both juniors. We're both 16 at the moment.
17.
You're 17. You just turned 17.
Happy
We're
birthday.
16. Happy birthday, Sim.
Yay. You're an adult. No.
That was nice. Helena is going to be in college by that time.
How it seems to be working out right now is that it'll end a little under 2 years because of how
Our schedule is.
works.
During the summer, I hope to get more pages out before school starts again.
Yeah. I mean, 2 years is about a regular time for webcomics.
Unless you're
running, as far
Homestuck,
as
which
I
takes
know.
10 years.
Oh.
I'm salty.
Most of the webcomics that I followed have been around for about 2 years, and a lot of them have been ending recently that I follow, so that made me really sad. But yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Do you guys ever draw any inspiration from like mainstream comics or media?
Memes.
Yeah. Yeah, just memes.
Yeah, we don't really like take anything out of other comics. We try to come up with everything originally, even though nothing's original anymore. We try our best.
Plotline wise, I could say that the sketchbook thing, if you know an old cartoon called Chalk Zone, it kind of stemmed a little bit from that. More so subconsciously, not that I meant for it to be anything like that. It's not a copy of that, but the idea of something coming to life and being used kind of came from Chalk Zone. So there's always a little elements
Nothing's
from your own
original.
life.
It's 21st century, nothing's original.
There's always things that like affect it from your own life, whether you do it consciously or not.
Yep.
Nothing's been original since Epic of Gilgamesh, please.